commercial version of Minecraft. Okay, so here I have my desktop, and I have the MinecraftEDU launcher shortcut already created here on my desktop. Now, depending on the platform that you're running, you may find this on Windows. You could find this in your Start menu. This could also be a desktop shortcut. It all just depends on what options you chose when you installed it. But once we launch MinecraftEDU, we get a window that looks like this. So you can already tell that this is different from the way that it looks when we launch traditional Minecraft. Our menu across the top here, we have a file menu to report a problem if we have something like that. There is also a feature request that we can send in right here. And then if we don't have a desktop shortcut, we can click on Create Shortcut right here, and it's going to give us this icon like we have right over here. Next part is the option to open up a folder. So if we click on Open MinecraftEDU folder, that's just going to open up our app data folder. This is where by default our MinecraftEDU content is going to be placed. My path is a little bit different from the default, but for the most part you'll have on Windows it'll be app data, roaming, and then MinecraftEDU. And then if you're running a Mac computer, it just opens this folder. Now the only time that you would really need to access this is if you need to go in and add some additional mods or find an archive download or something like that. For the most part, this folder is going to be you're not going to need to go into this folder except for initial configuration and things like that. So a couple of things in here that you will probably want to know is in the Minecraft folder, you have a mods folder and a resource packs folder. These change the look and behavior of the game, so those are important ones to keep in mind. And then also you have screenshots. If you take a screenshot during the game, they get saved by default into the screenshots location, and then you can go in there and you can retrieve them from there. The last file in here to look at is the MinecraftEDU settings. This is a configuration file. You can edit this with just a standard text editing application. But then when we go in here and if we edit that, there are some options that we can add in here for the way that that launcher behaves. So this would be a good thing to keep in mind if you're getting into a little bit more advanced configuration and you want to kind of customize it a little bit more in order to be able to allow your students to do a few more things or to customize the experience even more for your situation. Next to that, we have our client settings. If we click on client settings, then that's going to open up a drawer on the next page. And then we have basic client settings. We can set the amount of RAM that the application uses. And then we also have the option to keep the launcher running in the background. I'll show you that in just a little bit. And then we also have advanced settings that we can change in here to change our server launcher. I would not recommend changing anything in here unless you really know what it is that you're doing. There's some pretty advanced features and more things that you can do with this to customize it. Over here in the launch, you can set it so that it launches with a particular alias when it starts. Pick the gender, and then also give it have it connect to a server automatically. So we skip a couple of the different options that we have when we get started. And then if we have it try to log in automatically, then we click on this Start MinecraftEDU, and this whole thing just launches and gets ready to go. We skip a couple of screens that go along with getting started with the game. And then if you need to set up a proxy server, you can do that in here as well. We can also change the language with English, Spanish, Suomi, and the Netherlands are all supported. So if you want to change the language, you can do that, and that changes the way that this whole thing appears. Then we have our button to hide our launcher. If we just click on that, it just makes our launcher appear in a mini launcher just like this. And this is that option that we saw before to keep the launcher running in the background. This is what shows up right there. We click on Restore Launcher, and then it comes right back. Now we have two versions of the game. We can start MinecraftEDU, or we can start regular Minecraft. If we start regular Minecraft, this is going to be the best way to do this if you want to work in single player mode, or if you're using a commercial Minecraft server that's set up. If you're using a MinecraftEDU server, you have to start MinecraftEDU. I mentioned before that there are mods that you can install. If I click on this button, you'll see I've got client mods and I've got server mods. I can import them from the computer, or I can find them on the internet. And if I import them from the internet, I can apply it as a client mod or as a server mod. All I have to do is to, paste in the address where the mod resides, click on import, and then it'll come in, and I'll be able to download it. If I switch to online mods, these are some online mods that have already been put together and are made available for use directly with MinecraftEDU. So I can click on this, I can download the mod, install it, and then it'll start working for me. So it makes that mod selection process a little bit easier. Once I have installed mods, I have checkboxes that I can select right here, and when I select a mod, that makes it active, and if I uncheck the box, then it's inactive. So if I have a particular server that is using a particular mod, I can have that loaded on my client and ready to go, but if I switch to a different server that doesn't have it, I can turn it off on my client, and then I don't have to worry about compatibility issues or anything like that. Once you purchase MinecraftEDU, you also have an updates button where you log in with your username and password, and you can download the most current version of the mod. You'll see right here I'm running stable version 1.7.1 build 6. I have to have the same version running on both the client and on the server. So once I'm ready to launch in here, then I can click on Start MinecraftEDU. You see I get a login mode. I can use MinecraftEDU, I can use a Mojang account, or I can use a MinecraftEDU hosting account, depending on how I have everything set up. I have a local server running, so I can use a MinecraftEDU account. The time that you would use a Mojang account is if you set up the server to allow it. Your students can have custom skins that they have created in the game themselves. So that's why you might use a Mojang account. But we're going to use a MinecraftEDU, and then I'm going to click on Launch. Now you see those windows disappear, and I still have the mini launcher right up here at the top of my screen. Now when the application loads, it's going to show up in a window just like this. MinecraftEDU, just like regular Minecraft, uses Java in order to work and function. So okay, so here is my MinecraftEDU window, and this is what the game looks like when I start it up. Now, I mentioned before that there are a couple of options within the launcher that I can change. So if I want to get rid of this single player button, I can get rid of that, and then I won't even see that single player option. Then here I have multiplayer. I can check which mods are available right here. And then I can also go in, I can change the name or gender. So if I click on that, you'll see my name. This was the screen that came up first. I have my name, I picked my gender, and then I click continue, and then we get to this menu right here. We also have options in here that we can change. We can change the difficulty. We have music and sounds, video, language, resource packs, all of these things that we can do to customize our experience. And then we also have MinecraftEDU settings. Where we can change the way that these things work as well. We can change our menu, and then we can also give some different shortcuts for different commands within the game. So when I click on here and I click on multiplayer, I see I've got a MinecraftEDU server set up right here. I'm going to join that server. And then if I'm a student, I can go in and I can change my skin based on these custom ones that have already been imported into the game. Now, if you want to use something outside of what these avatars are, then you need to use a Mojang account, and you can customize your skins that way as well. So there are additional options and flexibility with the way that you would work with kids with that. I could also go in and say I am a teacher, and now it's going to prompt me for a password. So not just any student can come in here and log in as a teacher. I'm going to type in my teacher password, and we'll log in as a teacher so you can see what that looks like. So I click on the button, and after I've entered my password, I logged in as a teacher, and now I'm in. So a little bit of explanation about what's going on in this world. This is a project that I'm doing with a group of 5th graders in my school district, and they have been stranded on a deserted island. Here's their ship. They came across the ocean, and now they need to figure out a way to survive. So I have, this is called a teleport block. This makes it easy for me to get around from one place to another. And in this world in particular, I have a few things that are going to be going on that students will be able to work in multiple places. This block right here is a spawn block, so I set it up so that the students would spawn in this particular location and that they would have this area to work in. So if you look over here, you see we've got a couple of islands that I built, and then you might notice that ring up in the sky. That goes all the way around the playing area that my students are in, and that prevents them from going outside of a particular location. So one of the great benefits of Minecraft is that your worlds are infinite, and they can keep on going and going and going, and you never run out of space on them. However, if you are working with a class activity, that can make things kind of difficult. So in preparation for this particular activity, I put that ring in the sky, and then and now my students stay inside the ring in order to be able to do the things that I want them to do. So you might see across the bottom of my screen, I've got the hearts, and then I've got some pieces of meat. That means that I'm in here in survival mode. So I have things like health and hunger. I can get hurt. I can starve. All of those things are possible. But if I were in here with other students, I would not be able to harm them. So that function is disabled. So I can just go over here, and if I jump into the water, and you see I sink down to the bottom, I've got those little bubbles. I'm getting ready to drown here, and if I drown, then my character will die, and I will lose everything in my inventory. So see right here, oh, now I'm starting to get hurt because I ran out of oxygen. And once my health goes all the way down to 0, I died, and now I can click on respawn, and then I just come back right here where I started again. So that's the way that the students will experience it, and then you see I got the message that says Mr. Schmidt drowned. Now, since I'm logged in here as a teacher, I can press the P button on my keyboard, and this brings up my teacher menu. So I can go in and I can turn myself invisible. And if I'm in spectate mode, that means my students can't see me, but I can see them. So I can wander around in spectate mode, and I can take a look at what my students are doing, and they don't know that I'm right there, which can be kind of fun. If I click on this button and turn myself into creative mode, I'm going to exit out of my menu right here, and now by pushing spacebar twice, I can fly. So I can fly, I'm in creative mode, but my students are not. So the students still have to use the right materials to break the blocks. They have to have the right tools in order to be able to do what they need to do. They can still starve, they can still get hurt. All of those things still apply, even though I am in creative. My students are not. So they still have to follow the rules. Now, if I go into my teacher menu again, you see I have shortcuts to my world settings. So I can change the game mode for survival. I can put everybody in creative if I want. I can also put them in MinecraftEDU mode, which is very similar to survival. The only difference is that we don't have health and hunger. So they still have to use the right tools to break the blocks and get resources, and they still have crafting and all of that kind of stuff. But they can't get hurt, and they can't drown. So depending on your objectives for your lesson, you may use MinecraftEDU mode. And that is what I use for the most part with my students. I use MinecraftEDU. But for this activity, we're in survival. We can turn fire and TNT on or off here in this menu. So fire can burn, and then we can also have explosions. Typically, I will turn that off just because I don't want my students to vandalize things. And then we have the option to generate structures. Not as important a deal as right here, because we're in a confined area. So if we go past outside of where the world is built, and it continues to build, then structures will be generated as we go. I do have animals on, but if you don't want to have animals enabled, then you click on you uncheck that box. Our difficulty, depending on how you have things set up, you can have it so that students can starve to death, so that they can have even higher damage based on what's going on in the game. So if I have the difficulty changed to hard, then the students can take heavy damage and they can starve to death as well. So it makes some of those resources a little bit more necessary maybe for our students to find. I can turn weather on or off. Put that back to normal. I can turn weather effects on or off, so turn on rain or snow or anything like that. And if I don't want to have those available, then I just turn it off. Allowing other dimensions allows the nether in the end. For this particular activity, I don't want to have them have access to that, so we're not going to turn that feature on at this time. But if we have an activity that we're going to do with our students that would enable them to take advantage of other dimensions, then we would want to turn that one on. We can also allow villagers and monsters. So those non-playable characters that we don't put in, we can allow them or disallow them. So right now, we don't have monsters in this world, but eventually we will be adding monsters. So when I'm ready, I can just click that checkbox and then turn them on. We can also set the time of day right here. So if I click on this and unlock it, time is now unlocked, and as the day progresses, this is going to change, and the sun will move across the sky. We'll get a day and night cycle, all of that kind of fun stuff. So we can make those server setting changes right here within the game without having to go into the server tool. We also have player settings that we can put in here. So if we want students not to be able to build, then we can turn off their ability to build, and they can only place blocks where I tell them that they can. If I turn this function off, I need to place some special MinecraftEDU blocks in order for them to be able to build. I can also turn off their ability to chat. I can turn off their ability to move and build. And then I can also check this box and allow them to keep their inventory after they die. So if they need to respawn, I can keep their inventory for them. This allows student surfacing is they just click a button in the menu right here under their personal settings, and they can bring back to the surface, and they can also go back to spawn. So that turns these buttons on or off for my students. If I enable PvP, then that means that if we're in survival mode, students can hurt each other. We may eventually get there with this particular lesson, but for today we're going to keep that disabled. And then respawning, as I said, just with surfacing, enables one of these buttons for my students to be able to go in and either go back to the surface or teleport back to spawn. My player management, if I have other players in here, I can find a list of all of the students that are logged in, and then I can search for them and enable or disable certain features for them. So I can teleport the students to my location, I can keep them from moving, and I can also keep them from chatting. So if I don't need to have something happen with the entire class, maybe I just need to get 1 or 2 students, this is one of those ways that I can manage what they can and can't do. We can also give assignments here in MinecraftEDU. So if I add a new assignment, I give it a title and a description, and then I click Save, and then my students will see a menu, will see a prompt up at the top of the screen that says press M for assignments, and then I can use that as a way to communicate to my students, this is what we're doing today, and here's what's going on in this particular activity. We also have a give option. So if I want to give my students some kind of a resource or a sign or something like that is something that I use pretty frequently. So I will give my students a sign and I will set up, I just want to give them one. I can give to a particular player based on who's on the server, or I could give it to everybody, and everybody will see that item in their inventory then. I mentioned before that I have teleport blocks. Right now I just have the one island, but I'm going to be expanding this world a little bit later on. And then I need to, so this is for me to be able to quickly and easily transport myself from one island to another. And then finally we have building tools. These are available for teachers. If I go in here and I click on build mode, I also get long distance building. So when I go into this mode, you see I've got a hammer on my screen, and I can target blocks from very far away. Anything that fits in my crosshair, I can have access to them. Now the other nice thing about build mode is that if I want to, I can descend here, and I can go directly into the blocks that are in my world. So I don't have to break things to go through them. I can just fly through them, and it's no big deal. This is really a nice way to kind of explore some of those hidden areas that you may have and that you may find in the game. You can also use this as a way to see which students are kind of going against the rules and the things that you wanted them to do. For example, I told students their first priority should be food and shelter, and they shouldn't build a cave. But I see that a student came in here and built a cave. So I have a few tools at my disposal. I can go in here and I'll fill this cave in, and I'll remind my students that this is not something that we are here to do. This may be something that you do at home when you're playing the game on your own, but school Minecraft is going to be different from home Minecraft. And you can see that it's starting to get to be night here. So we're going to go back into our world settings, and I'm going to change it back to morning, and then we'll lock it. So now it stays that time until I let it go. A couple final things under the building tools. I have a fill and clear tool. So if I place two blocks in opposite corners, it fills the defined area with that block. So if I just turn that on real quick, and then I pull up my grass block right here, I can place a grass block right here, and then place another grass block right here, and it fills everything in between. You see, just like that. So this is a nice way to build things quickly and easily. There are additional tools that you can use that will help make your building process a little bit quicker and a little bit easier, along with that build mode and the fill and clear tool. You can also undo your last fill. So if you see right here, I undid that, and now that row is gone. I can undo my last place. So this is where you find your undo buttons with the game. I can also have it set so that I place multiple blocks at a time. So if I set this to set 10 and I click right here, that's going to build, should place 10. Oh, I don't have a spot on top of it. It's weird that didn't work. I should be able to place multiple blocks at a time. Oh, that works when I do the fill. That's why. So so that allows you to. I need to set it. That's why. All right. So now if I place it, I get a block of 10 that get placed in one spot. So one of those ways that you can build things very quickly. And there's also the opposite that's available to dig. So I can place 10 at a time, or I can dig 10 at a time, or however many I want. If I just want to put that back to 1, so then that way I don't mess with things too much. So those are the main things that make MinecraftEDU different from regular Minecraft. You're going to find that there's some very useful features within this for for teachers as well as for classroom management, and also some ways to customize the world that your students are working in that would allow you to do some more educational kinds of things with your students.